Hey, what's up everybody? Assalamu alaikum. Jan reporting from Slovakia. And oh, look at this, nice. We got some music in the back, haram. That's from the tower, and I'm actually standing in front of the monastery here on the hill. Anyways, I just wanted to kind of make a video about death, really. So as we all know, reminding yourself of your mortality or your death is like really important in Islam, but maybe somebody watches this video and they don't have any framework to operate in within their own mortality. So I just wanted to kind of give you my thoughts, because I used to be a nihilist, an atheist, nihilistic atheist before, and that's a very different perspective on death. So the one thing I always had since childhood was like thinking about non-existence. I couldn't just live my life without actually realizing, why am I doing this if I'm gonna die? Like, I need to figure this out, because everyone's gonna die. And as a child I didn't really understand that concept until I was like older, and I've realized I'm sort of trapped here in this world. It's sort of a cage, because everyone's gonna be dead. And it's such a depressing thought, right? Like, who likes death? Nobody likes to die. Nobody wants to think about this. But if we don't think about it, and if we don't talk about it, then there's nothing we can do. Like, I remember my entire life, no one wanted to discuss with me death. No one in my family. It's such a taboo topic, that you really have no one to share this with. Like, maybe some friends, but most of my friends really just cared about kind of like stupid stuff, you know. And so we never had a chance, you know, some of my friends, we got a chance to speak about death. But it's something you have to figure out on your own, really. Like, that's the big deal. Like, you gotta kind of confront this, and it's gonna take a couple of years. Like, how do you cope with your own mortality? Think about it. Like, you live in this world right now. It's nice and sunny and all that, but one day you're not gonna be here, and that day is coming very soon. No one knows, but it's coming very soon. Like, I lived 32 years already. It's such a long time, 32 years. And I don't know, it doesn't feel like it. And you know, in the next 32, if God gives me life, like more years to live, I'm gonna be 64 years in this world. And then I'm gonna die, probably. Like, I'm gonna die maybe even tomorrow, maybe at 100 years, but at one point I'm not gonna exist. And it's coming very soon, because I remember these 32 years. It wasn't that, like, it seems like it was like so quick, but in reality, when you're in life day to day, it's actually quite tedious. Like, it's actually just this day is so long, you know, and I have to spend it to the best of my abilities. But you know, when you're like looking back at your life, like even if you're 15, 16 or 25 or 40, I bet it looks like it went, damn, I stepped into the chewing gum. I bet it looks like it went by really fast, and that's kind of how it goes. And it speeds up as you get older. It speeds up. So the thing is, you have to deal with this question. There's no way you can live your life without dealing with your own mortality. Because if you ignore it, let's imagine a case you ignore this and you don't want to think about it. When you're, let's say, 80 years old on your deathbed, that's when you're gonna think about it, because that's when it becomes real. And so I would just imagine my own death. Like, when I'm old, like, I'm gonna think about my own life, and I'm gonna think about all the things I've done, and like how proud I am. And a lot of like people in today's age, they have this idea of like, okay, you want to live a good life so that you can think about it when you're dying, and that you know, helped your family or community or something, and that's nice. But what's the point of that? Like, I'm gonna be dying, and then I'm gonna die. Nothing. I'm taking nothing. I worked my entire life for this house, let's say. Gone. I don't own the house anymore. So did I really own it? Like, even if you paid off your mortgage, like, is it really your house? Your body gone. You don't even own your body. Damn, son, this world is crushing. So it's an illusion. You don't own anything. You're here for a couple of days, couple of years. So the point is to really think about like what's going on. I'm sure many people thought about this over the centuries or millennia. Like, how were they thinking about this before everybody started to be kind of scared of thinking about death? And so that's when you realize, like, wait a second, the entire humanity understood that they're gonna die very fast, like like when they were born, they were teaching their kids, like, you know, you're gonna die like this, and how you should live life. It's just today that we don't talk about it. And so essentially, yeah, that thought of non-existence, imagine not existing, and imagine there's nothing. So imagine it's just blank, like you don't exist. It's not even like a dream, it's the same as before you were born. Is that a nice thought? Like, that's what atheists believe. Like, okay, there's nothingness, so I'm gonna be the same as before. But is that nice? Like, I don't want to stop existing. Like, I exist in this world. It doesn't matter if it's a dream or not. I still feel the existence. If I'm an AI or a robot, it's still at least a feeling. But if I stop existing, what a depressing idea, right? Like, what's going? It's not even possible, because who is me? Who are we talking about? It's definitely not my body, because we discussed your body's gone, you're gone. So what's you? What's the essence of you? And this is the discussion that all the philosophers had, like, what is the essence of a human being? And it's a soul. It's something that's intangible. Your consciousness, you can call it, or soul, or whatever. It's something that you have since birth. Like, that's a point of awareness you have, like this awareness of things. Everybody has it. We don't have to discuss whether you exist or not. We all understand you exist, you're in this world, you know, and we have to kind of get along. But I remember as a kid, I used to think, like, I'm the only thing that exists and everything else is an illusion for just me. And kids have this perspective a lot. And then they realize, wait a second, it's not just me that exists in this world. There's other people and animals, and they all have this point of awareness. They all have this consciousness. They all have this soul. And we feel innately that there's something good and bad. And this has been proven by science. There's something good and bad in this world. Like, this point of awareness is aware of these things. And that's what's leaving your body once you're dead. So your body stays, right? Let's imagine that body. It's here, but it's just without the soul. So I have a guy who's coming here. Speaking of that, we've got some monks over here. So that's exactly what I was hoping for. And so, dobrý. And so I'm just saying that I said hi to the monk. They're going for this is actually like what's it called? A monastery. Yeah. You see, we're on it, Slovak people. We're on it. That body exists, but there's something missing, and that's the soul, right? So the body is still there. So it's not the body that gives life. It's something within the body. It's life. Like, what do you say when people say life? He doesn't have life. That's the soul is missing. The body's still there. It's gonna decay, but there's no life. There's no essence to it. This life cannot be manufactured. They try to, like, genetically edit and create clones and stuff, but it's not, like, something is missing. Like, what's life? You know, like, is AI able to create life? No, it's something that's only, it's something outside. Like, it's something not from this planet, bro. It's really incredible. Like, when you think about it, what is life? I just had my son 2 weeks ago, and he has life. He has this thing inside of him, and it's not something I gave him. It's just sperm. But there's something that's like a soul, and that thing is going. And so there's many theories what happens, right? And I just think I'm not gonna tell you what's right, because obviously I'm Muslim, so I support Islamic point of view. And I think the Islamic point of view is that essentially we are souls with bodies, not bodies with souls. We're souls with bodies. Once we die, this soul remains, and it goes back to the one who made it. And who made the soul? Well, obviously God. We all know God. We all understood what do you mean God? I'm not talking Jesus. I'm talking God, the supreme being, supreme intelligence, everlasting entity outside of time and space. All that, right? I'm talking that thing. So that thing is able to create life. And all life goes back to it. Why? Because there was a point, there was a reason for this life to exist in this world, even for 1 day or 1,000 years. There was a reason. What's the reason? Well, this entire world and planet, according to Islam, is created as a test. So what's the test about? To test is to see where do you end up. Like, do you want to be among the, you want to be better than angels? Like, you have a free will. That's the core thing in Islam. Like, the concept of free will, even though everything is predetermined, it's still a concept of free will is important, because it's your choices that will essentially lead you to either heaven or hell. And essentially God is doing a test on human beings, billions and billions and billions of them over the whatever millennia, to just see who wants to enter freely in a relationship with God, who wants to die as a believer, as someone who submitted their will to the will of God. And essentially it's all over the Quran, the concept of death, the concept of, hey, this life is temporary, you're gonna return, you don't remember. And essentially this is what we don't remember. We were here before the creation as souls in the heavens, and we all testified that we believe in God. We believe in God. Death is the concept that atheists believe in, Muslim, Christian, whoever. So it's something you have to figure out. Really, it's impossible to live in this world without figuring this one out. And I just invite you to read about Islam and just kind of figure out the perspective of death in Islam, because it's the only religion which talks in depth about the concept of death, and it gives you a lot of details about what's going to happen after you die, the stay in the grave, the afterlife, the day of judgment, heaven, hell. It has so much detail compared to other religions, and that's also something that attracted me, because obviously some of this knowledge is something of the unseen. We can't ever verify it, so it relies on your faith in what? Not in blind faith, but in your faith in the Quran. The Quran is the book of his, you know, the book the book. And essentially the Quran, to have a faith in the Quran, you have to understand how it was revealed and who was the Prophet Muhammad, who was reciting these verses. And so it's actually an exercise, kind of like, if you believe the Prophet, then by necessity you believe that the Quran is truth. You have to have some knowledge about how the Quran was compiled, how it was preserved, who was the Prophet Muhammad, was it corrupted, was it made up? And once you understand these things, then your faith is really strong, because I understand the Quran was not corrupted. I understand the Quran is divine, because it has things that are unexplainable, and there are things that you can prove that are kind of outside of human knowledge there. So it's not like, essentially it's something you have to reflect on. It's in your soul. Once your soul understands, oh, this is the truth. So once the truth hits you, not like the empirical truth, like, here I see God. No, it's the truth of the message of Islam. It hits you, then you basically have to submit. And I just want to explain, like, since becoming a Muslim, I had so much existential angst before, and panic attacks from death, and really depression. I was actually brought into hospital many times, not many times, one time to be honest, but it was all from this fear of dying and fear of not knowing what's gonna happen and all that stuff. And now essentially it's gone, because I know, and I know it sounds ridiculous to say, hey, you know what's gonna happen when you die, how can you know? Well, I don't know. I trust the Quran, obviously, but that's what tells me what's gonna happen, and we can discuss the reasons why I believe in it. Maybe you can say, well, Hindus, maybe they have another theory, or why are you not Buddhist or something like that? Well, all the other religions that I've looked at, I haven't studied in depth, but from the beginning you can see the problems. For example, in Hinduism, there's not even an idea who wrote the Vedic text. No one even knows. So how can I trust something that I don't even know if humans corrupted? If humans touched anything, I don't want it. So we don't have this problem in Islam. In the Bible, the same thing. It was changed by humans. Nowadays they change parts of the Bible. Even today they take out parts and pieces and fix things because of copying errors. I mean, there's some sort of truth, but I don't want to kind of blindly have a faith in something like that. So, and it's not just about the book, just the concepts, you know, like reincarnation and all that. Like, you have to make sense. It has to make logical sense for me. The Trinity, reincarnation Buddhism or nirvana. That's nice, but it just doesn't sound like the truth. You know? It doesn't sound like the truth. The truth is there's only one God, and that's it. Anyways, that's a video for me to you in this beautiful nature in Slovakia, in front of this monastery. So really cool. Anyways, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Leave me a comment below. What do you think about death? Yeah, hopefully it helped. And alright, see you.